Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody.
And also, please welcome our guest for this week, Saba Jade.
Hello.
Hello.
You were just so low-key. You're just like, hi, how's it going?
You want me to be excited? I don't know if I
Yes.
can do that.
Are you
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Wow.
Are you the low-key member of your bunch?
Oh, yeah.
Have you listened to their podcast? Have you watched their Twitch streams? Did you even
Well,
have to ask that?
I know, because I was just thinking, I'm thinking of Lessa, and I'm thinking...
Yeah.
Yep.
The subject I just don't have...
Actually, I think Saba's more of the straight man of the bunch.
Yes, that...
Lessa says I'm the brains behind the damsels. Modesty prevents me from commenting on that comment.
Well, let's head into the game news, where we had Update 30, Part 2 on Lamania, and I heard that they were testing out a dungeon.
That is pretty much the only change from Round 1 that was on Lamania. That brought us little G's. Round 2 is just for the anniversary dungeon event that is called, right now on Lamania, it's called the Anniversary Party. We're going to keep this spoiler-free because there's a lot of stuff to be spoiled in it. We'll talk about more of that later, but still keeping it spoiler-free, though, for people that want to save it for live.
You mean like me?
Yeah, like you. So, word of the wise, don't watch the video I made if you don't want to be spoiled. Just saying.
Do you know what level the dungeon is, or is it all levels?
It scales, yeah.
Okay. Kind of like the other events.
Yeah, it's similar. It's set up similar to how the Night Revels dungeons were, except you do not need to get like a key to get in, though. You can just go into the dungeon. But other than that, it's like a quote-unquote challenge-type dungeon. It's set up where, you get stars for completing it. And so it's Night Rebels-like in that way. It's an interesting dungeon.
Sounds like I'll like it, because I like those.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I like the story a lot, too. But once again, we're keeping it spoiler-free. The big thing, though, other than that, is we got a peek at what the anniversary freebies are going to be. What's going to happen is once the anniversary event goes live on the live servers, when you log in, you're going to get a 10-year-old cake. And that is going to be your anniversary token that you can trade in for a freebie item. And
you know what they are?
I do know what they are, and I'm going to give a spoiler warning here as well. If you don't want to know, you're going to want to tune out of this show for probably about 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot.
We're going to do some spoilers here, because there is a major storm a-brewing over on the forums about this. The freebies you can choose from are pretty much old raid items, like the Quiver of Electricity, Hellfire Crossbow, Mantle of the World Shaper, which is not a raid item, Voice of the Master, once again not a raid item, Belt of Brute Strength, Chattering Ring, Kandaric Delving Boots, Seven-Fingered Gloves, Shining Crescents, Minos Legions, again not a raid item, Chaos Blade, Marilla Chain Armor, Gauntlets of Eternity, Litany of the Dead, Madstone Boots, Ring of Lies, Thrane's Goggles, Death Nip, Levix Defender, Skibber, Twin Blade, Divine Vengeance, and the Coreforged Docent of Battle, the Tobin's Hammer, Epic Helm of the Red Dragon, and also the Protector of the King Balazard. A Needle, Quill Singer, and Pinion Cloud Piercer is another part of that, too. So what it is, like I said, this is old raid loot. And there are people that are losing their ever-loving minds about this.
Probably because they already have it, but the Mantle of the World Shaper is great if you TR a lot. You can make a Master's Gift out of that.
Yeah, but my only problem with that is that's so easy to get in game now. Why would you waste your anniversary for freebie on that?
Because I don't want anything else.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. But so, yeah, I just wondered, what do you think about this? And this stuff, another word of note about this, too, is this stuff will be bind to character on Acquire. Yes. But each of your characters will get one of the tokens. So if you have 10 characters, you could, in theory, get 10 of these items for each character. But it
You
is
think
bound.
people only
bound to
have 10 characters?
Well,
Really?
I
Only?
just pulled 10 out of my, head. I'm sure I know a lot of people that have 20 or 30 characters, but anyway.
Correct.
But yes, so you will get one of these for each
Cool.
character. But there's people that, like I said, they are losing their ever-loving minds on the forums about this. And I didn't think it was that major of a deal. The biggest cry of frustration, I guess I'll say, on the forums is that this is literally going to kill these old raids. And most people are saying the raids that you get this loot out of now are dead anyway, but they say this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for these raids.
They didn't do an SOS, so people are still going to run Vons. That's the big one that they run, low end raid that they still run, right? I didn't hear anything out of Chronoscope of people are running that for those items. And the other raids, it really doesn't. I mean, Caught in the Web was already messed up because they gave everybody a free box so you could pick whatever raid item you wanted. So I'm not sure what the big deal about.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't quite understand why the big outcry was about this.
It's a tradition in MMOs.
Well, this is true too. I guess people have to complain about something.
All right, we're doing it wrong. All right, I hate this idea.
That's better. There we go. But yeah, so and for people, to me, I'm looking at it like, okay, this is awesome for me because chances are some of these raids I will probably never run. So I could get some of this stuff now. There was, I forgot the name of it. There was a bow that I looked at on Lamania. Yeah. And I was
Caught in the Web, yeah.
So I'm like, cool. I'm going to get that bow done. I'm happy. And am I ever going to run that raid? Probably not. I mean, maybe I will at some point.
Well, even if you did, chances of you getting it or somebody
right.
passing it to
exactly.
you are very slim.
Because we all know my RNG luck. So
no, for anybody, chances are very slim.
Really?
I got opinion because of the box they gave out to everybody. Otherwise, I wouldn't have opinion.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know. I just didn't understand quite what the whole uproar was about this.
Well, you have to realize that we are not the high-end gamers, right?
True, and that's...
You have everything.
That's an understatement with me.
Kind of how I looked at it. It's like, okay, I guess I'm coming at it from my point of view. So I guess if I was a hardcore raider, yeah, I probably would be pissed off about this too, I guess.
Yeah, because they already have everything they want out of those raids.
Hey, I got it legitimately.
So,
well, that too.
But yeah, that's it. And we do actually know the date of when Update 30 will be coming to the live servers. Right now, it's tentatively scheduled for February 29th. Cordovan posted on the forums, quote, just to make sure we get this bit of info on the forums. We're currently hoping to get Update 30 released on February 29th. As always, things could change, but that's the target date.
Now, he plans on twitching all day from 9 to 9 Eastern on the 29th. He's going to have a really tough day if the new stuff isn't out, huh?
No, he is twitching on the 26th.
Wait a minute.
The 29th is Monday.
Oh, really? So he's going to twitch the 26th, not with the new stuff.
Correct.
Wow, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and then the 29th, which is a week from as we're recording
today,
this live, yeah. So it should be on live next Monday.
Oh, cool.
Yes. I guess they had
tentative.
They wanted to do something special on the 29th of February because you only
happens.
Yeah, you only get that once every 4 years.
And Brack Barefeet in the chat is saying, "Well, why not February 30th?" Grin. I see what you did there, sir. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to keep this kind of spoiler free because I know some people don't like to be spoiled. So, but really on Lamania this weekend, which I checked today, Lamania is now back down again. So I guess it doesn't really matter anyway. That's all that was on there was the loot that you could get and the dungeon.
Did they mention whether they're going to have Lamania up this weekend before the update?
Jerry didn't say during his live streams that I saw this week, so I don't know. I'm planning on watching his Wednesday live stream this week, and I'm going to ask him that to see if it's going to be up again. I would assume it'll be up one more time, because usually in the past, Lamania is usually always up 3 times. And I do know that the dungeon was not totally complete, and the dungeon rewards that you could trade the party favors in that you get out of the dungeon, the loot list wasn't complete either. So I would assume they would get the complete full list up and the rest of the dungeon done, because there was a lot of stuff missing out of the dungeon.
Maybe it was intentional to hold a few things back before the official release and the anniversary.
Actually, I asked that too because there was a bunch of devs on Friday night, and they said no, they just didn't have time to finish it.
Oh.
Okay. Then let's head into the release notes. Anything interesting? Because when I read the release notes, except for at the top saying celebrating our anniversary.
That's it.
That's it. It looked pretty much identical.
Other than that, listen to last week's show and you can hear the release notes because they are exactly the same. As I said, the only thing on the Mania was the anniversary token turn-in and the dungeon.
Very well. And they changed the name of the known issues to the Lamania notice board.
I'm sure they are happy that you noticed that, Pineleaf.
Yes.
Yeah, that was bad, I know.
Yes, and then and on the notice board, most of the things that I posted on there were for the anniversary dungeon. Now, does that imply then that they had taken care of many of the things on the notice board from the gnomes?
Yes, and you said the word Pineleaf, and I wasn't ready for you to say it. See how you are? See, now we have to
I snuck it in.
We have to stretch.
Gnomes are coming. They're coming for you.
You notice I said G's before purposely.
Well, we had to have it said at least once on the last.
Oh, it's going to be said more than
release,
once,
right?
I'm sure it'll be said more than once. Yeah, but like Piley said, this is the known issues are all towards the anniversary dungeon.
Did you say the gnome issues? Really?
Really? Did you?
Gnomes are coming. They're coming for you.
And you said she's the straight woman?
Yeah, exactly. I see how you are. But yeah, it's all to do with the anniversary dungeons. Some of the NPCs don't have their full dialogue yet. The couple of the NPCs actually weren't even placed in the dungeon yet. The party isn't completely festive yet. Tolero will have more items returned in the future. That's the NPC that you talk to get your reward, if you did not know. The experience has not yet been set for the dungeon. The DM voiceover is not recorded for the dungeon, and the monster stats still could be changed for the dungeon. So not much known issues on the Slamadia build.
Well, as for the DM not being yet ready for it, that's not necessarily mean it's... I don't know about the rest of them, but now I had time. Did you ask specifically on that one on whether that one was intentional or not? Since they have been known to hold back.
I did not. No. That is something that I should ask.
Will Wheaton's back.
See, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to pull. I don't know necessarily about Will Wheaton, but I'm kind of wondering if they're going to have like a special DM for this.
Well, I was thinking all the devs would be DMs.
Oh no, that would be kind of
cool.
Because we play with the devs, right?
And have the devs be the DM, yes, and so therefore people would recognize the names of a couple of the devs, such as Cordovans. Right. I know he's not technically a dev, but
we call them all devs, right?
Yeah. And yes, there is this habit of calling anyone with the special employee tag as a dev, even if they're not one. So let's head into the Update 30 preview for Dungeons & Dragons Online, where if you didn't know the voice of any of the devs, that would surely give it away.
Are their faces, because they were actually on video in this. This was done on Friday afternoon, and if you have not watched the video yet, if you were scared to watch it, you can watch it. It's pretty spoiler-free, actually. Cordovan did a pretty good job at keeping it spoiler-free. He showed a little bit of the dungeon off, but he didn't spoil too much of it. A little bit was spoiled on it, but it wasn't too bad. There was some things that I watched this video, and I did pull out some highlights. We did find out the cost of the little G's when they come to live. They're going to be 1,295 turbine points, and that is going to be for both the normal and the iconics. So 12.
So you get both of them, or that's separate?
That is separate.
Okay.
It is going to be
that was my question too, Pine.
Yep. Separate purchase for either one, but they're both priced at $12.95.
Sounds like a lot.
And would it be possible to unlock them with rep?
No, that is one thing they did clarify. This is going to be free to VIP Or if not, you're going to have to buy it. There is no rep unlock because there's going to be no house. That was a question that somebody in chat asked if they were going to have a new G house for rep, and they said not at this time. No, there's no plans to do that.
Okay, I was about to ask, but maybe someday in the future. But since you said not at this time, that does leave it open.
That was already asked, and they just said not at this time. So, like I said, it does leave it up on the table for at some point. But yeah, but I'm trying to think of how much the other iconics were, and it seems like
they were like $8.95 or something.
Yeah, this seemed like really expensive to me.
I'm sure it'll come down after a year or so.
That could be very possible. The other thing is
what's the price of the locks?
I want to say they're like $9.95.
Oh, okay.
I think that price is jumping out at me for some reason. The other thing I pulled out of here is the anniversary event should run through the month of March. But they did say keep an eye on the forums as they will have exact dates and any updated information. But it sounds like right now the plan is to have that event run through the end of March. So you should have plenty of time to grind that dungeon out to get any rewards that you would like. And Saba, you were going to say something, I think?
Well, I'm looking at your show notes. We're going to skip the next one. I think it's funny that this event is running through March, but they're going to move the data centers the first half.
I thought that too. I thought, well, that's interesting. Yeah.
That'll give us some fun.
Severlin said right now the plan is the data center move is scheduled for the first half of March. Once again, they say keep an eye on the forums for any updated information.
You guys want to remind us how it went with Lotro, the data center move? Was it easy?
It was, biggest problem has to do with connections. As like first item they had were that there are some things in the code which weren't quite ready for it. One of the tricks of this entire data center move is that they're moving from 32-bit systems to 64-bit systems. And as a result, there are some items in there that weren't quite working well with 64-bit systems, and maybe one or two things that might not work too well with virtual machines as opposed to standard instead of hard. I guess I try to think what the opposite would be of virtual machines, of real machines, let's say. So therefore, it's that type of move that's going on. Then, of course, were optimizations for the various routes and connections and stuff like that, and they're still working on getting all those resolved on Lotro's side. There are a few people who are still having a few glitches here and there and logging on the right. They're still trying to resolve those, and I presume they're hoping that those will be resolved by the middle of March, so they'll have a relatively clean move for DDO.
Gumsgang in the chat is saying at least they can learn from what the problems Lotro had. Yes. Which you would hope would be the case.
We hope so.
So we'll see how it goes. But right now, tentatively, 1st of March is when our data center for DDO is going to move. And then the other really big thing, I think, that this was the first I've heard about it. If they have mentioned this before, I apologize, but I had not known about this. There's going to be some new cosmetic pets coming for Update 30, and it's an Iron Defender.
Hey, I've already got an Iron Defender following me.
Well, now you can have another one. You can have a gold one, a silver one, or a House Caneth variety.
Oh, what's the difference of a House Caneth variety?
I don't know. I did not look on Lamania because I didn't know these were on here. So if Lamania is up this weekend, I'll look and see if I can figure out what the difference in them are. But if you've ever wanted an Artie dog following you and you're not an Artie, well, here you go. Buy yourself a little cosmetic Artie dog.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I think about that. I think they should be exclusive to Artificers.
I kind of agree. I don't personally play an Artificer, but I kind of agree with you.
You want that one level of Artificer just so you could get that dog.
There you go. Exactly.
If I did play an Artificer, I think this would kind of tick me off a little bit. Really, it would.
Why?
Now, if you're an Artificer, and like Pineleaf has one, and he could buy one and have a couple Iron Defenders running around after him, that would be cool. But for me as a rogue, having an Artificer dog doesn't sound so right.
I agree with that too. So we'll see. I don't know.
I'll probably get one though.
Now the question is how much they'll cost. I guess we'll find that out when it goes live next week.
True. Or like I said, if Lamania does come back up, indeed for this weekend, I will pop on and take a look at that. And because usually the prices that's on Lamania is usually what it's going to be on live. They in the past have adjusted prices a little bit, but so we'll see what happens with that.
I wonder if one of them might be available, if the House Canaanith variety might be available through Rep instead of through...
I doubt it, since these are store only.
Oh, okay.
I doubt it.
Oh, they're all listed as store items?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
It's a store-only cosmetic pet, so...
Very well. Then let's ask the question, do Jewels of Fortune actually decrease drop rates of named loot?
And I have wondered this question myself. And I noticed a thread over on the forums that asked, wow, I can speak English, ask this question, do Jewels of Fortune actually decrease the drop rates of named loot? Because there's been some rumors on the forums a lot that said if you chomp on a Jewel of Fortune, your named loot rate is going to decrease.
Why would that be?
People claimed that's how it was. I don't know. But there's people that did like charts, and they said they could prove that it did because they would use a Jewel of Fortune and then run quest or whatever, and they get no name drops whatsoever. They'd wait until their Jewel of Fortune is up, and then they go on that same quest and they get a name drop.
There's no way they have a high enough end for that, you know it?
Yeah. Out of curiosity, does DDO have an equivalent of the Horseshoe of Arkham?
No.
Okay.
No, they
What is that?
It's an item that does absolutely nothing in Lotro.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what we call Jewel of Fortunes. Come on.
People claim it does all sorts of things in Lotro. I mean, there's like all sorts of weird things, what people say that it actually...
If I remember correctly, the only thing that it affects is the snowball fight in the Winter Festival.
Correct.
But outside of that, it has, except for changing a couple of pieces of quest text, it has no effect whatsoever. But there is this entire mythology about it.
And that's kind of how the named loot drops with the Jewels of Fortune are in DDO. And Steel Star actually popped into this thread, and he said, Jewels of Fortune do not, I repeat, do not affect the drop rate of any named items. They do affect which tables you can get with regarding to tomes and other items that have a chance at dropping in any chest as the overall treasure table level goes up. But for named quest items that drop in specific chests, Jewels of Fortune do not affect the drop rate in any way. So there you have it. An official response from one of the developers that are saying, all you people that are saying it affects your drop rate, it should not, because they say it doesn't. So I would tend to believe Steel Star, because he does a lot of work with the loot, and I think he would be the person that would know.
Yeah, but he also says it does affect other items, and I never get better drop rates because I have a Jewel of Fortune going. So.
Well, maybe that's just your bad luck.
It probably is my bad luck.
Let's head into the best online fantasy game update. And how is DDO doing now?
We're number 1, Pineleaf.
What?
We're number 1.
Well, we actually caught up?
Oh, yeah, we caught up, and we are like trouncing Black Desert Online now.
Caught up to that game that's not out yet?
Yeah, exactly. As of this recording, Black Desert Online has 2,504 votes, and DDO is currently sitting at 2,984 votes.
How many of those are yours?
I vote twice a day. So there you go. How many of them are yours?
I think 5. I wonder how many times Mary votes, though, because every time I get onto my Twitter, she's like, vote, vote, vote.
I'm pretty sure Mary votes every 8 hours when she can vote. And we do have, as of this recording, once again, there is 6 days left to vote for this. So I think this is pretty awesome that we went from... I forgot, I think the first time I found out about this, DDO might have been in like maybe 15th place, 14th place. And we were at number 2 forever. And then just the DDO community has stepped up and just started voting. So, and then once again, this is a very unscientific poll because you can vote every 8 hours. And I realize this means nothing in theory. This really means nothing if we do win this. Other than the fact that I think it's just awesome that a 10-year-old MMO is going to be listed as the number 1 fan-voted best online fantasy game.
Maybe we'll get some new players.
And that's, I was just about to bring that up, and maybe it will drive some new players to the game, and that would, just be a win-win for everybody. So we'll see, but keep it up. Keep voting. We have 6 days left.
All right. Then let's head into our store sales. What's on sale this week?
25% off the Slayer count boost, select shared storage, the aforementioned Jewels of Fortune, and our free sample of the week through the 25th is a lesser Slayer count boost. use the coupon code that you can find in our show notes, and those are 1 per account.
I do miss you saying what the coupon codes are, so please do.
I know. Okay, it's the
Okay, Pine Leaf, what
There you
does
go.
that stand for?
Hiskisning. That is obviously a secret message that tells you where to find the great chest that is hidden within the marketplace that no one has
Oh,
found within
man.
these last 10 years.
We need to figure this out.
See, Pine Leaf's got it all figured out. Yeah, Turbine, we need those vanity codes back because, yeah.
The last I heard, they're still working on that with the new store.
I miss, the Slay 1 code. It was so easy to do. Free sample of the week is the Lesser Slayer. Slay 1. Okay, easy.
Perhaps it's not on the top of their priority list until after they finish the data center move.
Maybe. I'm sure there's a few more things that are pressing.
Yeah.
I did read on the forums that a lot of the, not a lot, but some bugs are going to get fixed in the next update. They didn't say what bugs, but
No, they did.
Is that when you were on Lomania?
I didn't actually go test, the known bugs to see if they were fixed, which I guess I should have done, but
Actually, I know that for Draculetta, what he's going to say is the bug that he wants to be fixed is the existence of gnomes.
You said it again, Piney. Really? 3 times in one show, Piney? Really?
I don't get your fascination.
Gnomes are coming. They're coming for you.
Nobody gets the fascination with the little critters. Nobody does.
Well, some people want them and some people don't, and I'm not one of the ones that wants them.
See, I knew I liked you for a reason. See?
Let's head to the site news, and we'll begin with the DDO anniversary event preview. Yes, I heard a rumor that you went into the anniversary dungeon on a video that I didn't watch because I didn't want the spoilers.
I did. I spoiled everything, Pine Leaf. I spoiled all the spoilers. I ran the whole complete dungeon and spoiled everything. So if you don't want to see this, do not watch this video. But I will just say, keeping this spoiler-free, as I said, we're going to at the beginning of the show, I enjoyed the story. The story was funny. There was a lot of very funny in-jokes that are very hilarious. There is one that I enjoyed the most. I talk about it in the video, but I won't talk about it now because, yeah, it's just awesome. So I liked the story. I liked the thought they had in it. We're really fighting kobolds. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Kobolds still hate you.
It ties into the story, though. It makes sense, and the story is very funny. It's just awesome. I don't want to say anymore.
Somebody in the chat does not agree with you.
I saw that, and there's a lot of people on the forums that do not like this event either. But and then I also had a video up of where I laid out all the loot that you can get in with your anniversary token, and also from this event. But at the time Lamania was up, the loot table for the event was not fully implemented yet, so there was hardly anything there. But a slight spoiler here, I will give that warning. The loot that you can get from the event is named after the devs. That's all I'll say. If you actually want to know what it is, watch the video or wait till it goes to live.
Like a quarterman cut.
Similar to that, yes.
Okay.
That's about the naming scheme that they have for it. And like I said, I did show this in the video, but there was a lot of it that was not on Lamania yet.
Now, I have a question.
Okay.
Why isn't there a DDO Chronicle?
Because I forgot to put it in show notes.
Ah.
So it's not the quarterman being slow. It's
No,
Draculetta?
it's me slacking on my producer duties for the show. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Pine Leaf. That's awesome.
That's what he's here for.
That's awesome, Pine Leaf. Thanks. Right. Do you want to talk about the Chronicle? We can talk about the Chronicle if you want. We can do that if you really want to. And I will add it to the show notes now, and we can just pretend that it was always there.
Except for everybody listening.
Well, yeah, we'll have to brainwash everybody that's listening, but we probably have that technology.
Oh, he at least has the technology to edit from the show, from the
I could
podcast.
see. Well, no, because I'm not doing heavy editing anymore. So, nope, that's staying in, Pine Leaf. Sorry.
Oh, well.
But do you want to talk about the Chronicle? We can.
Not particularly, since I don't have them in front of me.
Well, fine. See, then what did you bring it up for? Jeez. Good grief, man.
Let's head to the screenshot of the week, which is what reminded me of the Chronicle, actually.
Oh, I see.
And it looks like we've got a waterfall here.
It's a waterfall. That's just one of the many waterfalls you can find. See, as you can tell, people, I need you to send some screenshots in because I'm getting desperate for taking screenshots when I'm taking screenshots of waterfalls. It is an awesome waterfall. It's one of them out in evening. I think it's in King's Forest, I think is where I took that. But if you have a screenshot, send that in to podcast@ddoplayers.com, podcast@ddoplayers.com, and all you have to do is tell me your character name and just a little blurb about the screenshot, and we'll feature it on the site. And next week, we do have a player-submitted screenshot because I did get one I think it was on Saturday, I got that email. So you too can have your screenshot featured on our site. In our video that goes up on YouTube so the whole world can see it.
Then let's see what came from the dungeon. And I heard a rumor that they had a Kickstarter for a Conan RPG. Is it doing all right?
Well, if you consider being funded in 2 hours doing all right.
Yeah, that sounds halfway decent.
Yeah, this Kickstarter is like going crazy. Of course, everybody was pretty sure it was going to anyway, just because everybody loves Conan. So yes, this is going to be released. End of this recording right now. There's 26 days to go. They are at 265,929,000 of their $65,000 goal.
All right. So this is all about the world of Conan Doyle?
No. Oh, Pine Leaf. Silly Pine Leaf.
So does this have any relation to Age of Conan, the MMO, or is it something different?
It's something... okay. It's set in the same universe. It's set in Iberia. This is an officially licensed product from the Robert E. Howard estate. So it has that in common with Age of Conan MMO. It is not, let me put it this way, a family-friendly RPG. There is dismemberment. There is because if you're familiar with Conan at all and the works of Robert E. Howard, you know Iberia is like a very harsh planet to live on, and they are not holding back on this RPG. They have, teased a little bit of stuff, and this is going to be a pretty violent RPG if you want to play it that way. It's kind of up to your game master how he wants to shape your world. But there is some big names, especially in the fantasy art world, that is doing the artwork for this RPG. So this is going to be one to watch. But it is, as I said, funded. Got funded in 2 hours that the Kickstarter went up. They are already unlocking stretch goals, and it's pretty much to the point now where as soon as they put a stretch goal up, it gets unlocked almost immediately. The next one they're getting ready to unlock is at 195K. Oh, actually, no, they need to update their thing because they're way past that already. Because they're at 265. So let's see, what is the 265 one? 255, which was just surpassed. That is, they're going to have another add-on book called The Beast of the Iberian Age, which will be a monster manual type thing to add. It's going to be 112 pages of more monsters to add to your game. And the next one is going to be 280K, which they have 26 days to go, so I'm pretty sure they'll get that 280K. That is going to be another source book called Conan the Brigand. And they did say they will add more stretch goals if they meet that 280 stretch goals. So it's just going crazy. And there is a already up on DriveThru RPG, which I'll add a link into the show notes. There is a quick starter guide where you can actually roll up a character and see how the gameplay is. You can play some sample gameplay. That is up on DriveThru RPG now, and that is actually a free PDF download. And I will link that in the show notes.
All right, then. Then let's head into Gen Con. Gen Con sends out a survey to judge reaction to adding another convention.
That's what it seems like they're doing. They just sent this to, if you're on the Gen Con mailing list, or if you've ever bought tickets to Gen Con, you should have gotten this email. They are asking just 3 simple questions. Number 1 is, which of the following best describes your opinion of adding on an additional Gen Con? Your choices are, count me in, I would love to go, I'm very interested, but it would depend on the location and timing. I'm somewhat interested, and I'm only interested in attending one Gen Con. And then they also ask, if they were to add an additional Gen Con, would it be best to do in spring, autumn, or winter? And then with the winter, it does say in parentheses, in a warm environment.
Yeah.
And then they list
Yeah.
several cities, and they would like to judge your reaction to those cities. If you would count me in, I would definitely go. I would strongly consider, would unlikely to be considered, and would never attend at that city. And the cities that are listed are Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Indianapolis, New Orleans, and Orlando.
Indianapolis.
That's what I thought was kind of weird. I thought they're going to just add another one in Indy, but I don't know. So, and I did reach out to Gen Con, and I did hear back from the PR person, and they just said they have no statement or anything more to add to the survey at this time.
All right.
So they might be thinking of possibly adding another event.
Now, didn't they used to have 2 of them?
Yes, there used to be one.
Yeah, I thought it was called Gen Con West out in California or
Yes.
something weird like that.
There was one in California at one time, and then they also, for a few years, they had like a Gen Con UK that was held, I do believe was in London. It was somewhere in England.
All right.
That only happened for a couple years. But
Well,
so I think right now they're just trying to judge what people think and to see what the reaction would be. I can't see them adding enough, but yet I can honestly say they need to add another one because it is like crazy crowded.
yeah, I think that they wouldn't mind too much if they split it up a little bit just to, let's face it, with the way that thing has been growing, they could split it up and still be almost at capacity at Indy.
Right. And see, I'm just kind of wondering if they would do this, could Gen Con sustain 2 conventions? I mean, would they kill themselves by doing this? I don't know. It's a tough call. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this, or if anything happens with this.
We'll see.
Well, like I said, I think right now they're just kind of like judging to see how people react to this.
Well, if they have a Gen Con Baltimore, I'll probably actually go.
So Pineleaf votes Baltimore. Gotcha. Gen Con, if you're listening, Baltimore, done.
I vote none of those. They're not close enough to anything. I mean, Nashville's not there. LA's not there.
You know, and I was surprised, like, there wasn't anywhere in the LA area on here. I really was. And I didn't even think about Nashville, but yeah, that would be, I guess they consider Atlanta. That's why they don't have a Nashville, because they have Atlanta on there. But I have no idea why there's no California. That doesn't make sense at all.
Probably because they used to have one in California. And maybe they decided that wasn't successful, so...
I don't know. We'll just keep an eye on this and see what happens. Maybe they'll add a show and maybe they won't.
Maybe. We'll see. And there is a new weekly show coming from Wizards of the Coast. And what's this show that they're coming to?
Curse of Strahd.
Ooh.
They are going to be running a live playthrough of the new Curse of Strahd storyline with, of course, Chris Perkins as your dungeon master. And there will be a group of 4 other players. And I will be honest, the only person on this list that I have ever heard of is Commander Holly, and that's just because she is an awesome cosplayer. Other than that, I don't know any of these other people. I totally apologize for that. But Anna Prosser Robinson, Commander Holly, Pro Jared, and Nathan Sharp are the other players that will be taking part of this. And this is going to be on the official Wizards of the Coast Twitch channel. And it's going to be every Tuesday starting March 1st. And that will run from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it will be, of course, afterwards up on their YouTube channel as well.
And it also looks like that they are giving us a few teasers from Wizards on the Curse of Strahd.
Yes, it looks like they have the books in hand at Wizards because they were tweeting the book laying on the desk. Then they kind of teased in the back of this book, there's going to be a fold out map. And they showed that out. And Gale Force 9 is going to come out with a Strahd figurine where Strahd has his sword drawn and he is on his Nightmare Steed. You can see that in their teaser tweets as well. Then they showed the Taroka deck all laid out on a table, and then just a couple of cool pieces of artwork of Strahd and Strahd on his Nightmare Steed. So they are really ramping things up with the little teases for Curse of Strahd because it is slowly approaching. It will be here soon. March 15th is the official date. But the biggest thing about this, though, and in my article I put up on the site, you can see this. This is either the ultimate tease they're doing, or as I said in my article, the ultimate troll. If you look at the very first picture where they're or I guess it's the second picture of my article, where they are teasing the pull-out map, there is a piece of paper underneath the Curse of Strahd book, and it says, Dungeons and Dragons, Secret Project, June 2016.
Ooh.
So either Wizards is just trolling us all, or there's a secret project coming in 2016 from Wizards. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
And you said in June?
Yep, June. All it says is it has the Dungeons and Dragons logo, and then it says Secret D&D Project June 2016.
And when is GaryCon?
That is in March.
Oh, that's in March. Okay. And they're not doing Gen Con this year, so...
Correct, yeah, and Gen Con is in August, so I don't know. Maybe, I'm trying to think of when one of the PAX South or PAX West might be in June, maybe. I'd have to look.
Oh,
but,
and Origins?
Origins would be in June. Because I do believe Origins is like the month before Gen Con, so Origins would be in June. So we might see something coming out of Origins.
Right. Now,
Either that or, like I said, they're just trolling us all.
Well, that's also a possibility.
They have been known to do that.
Then let's look into the latest issue of Dragon Plus. It is full of Ravenloft stuff.
Yep, it is all full of Ravenloft goodness. The cover art is an amazing take on, with Dragon Plus, they have an artist reimagine the ampersand in some way.
Yeah.
And this one is an awesome cover art of a raven sitting with the ampersand in his mouth, and the ampersand basically forms a key, and he's in a graveyard, and there's a full moon behind him, and it's just an awesome little picture. There is some previews of Ravenloft in here, of course. There is an interview with Jim Zub, who is the writer of the upcoming Minsk in Barovia storyline for the D&D comics. So Ravenloft is coming to the D&D comics as well. There is a great article with Tracy and Laura Hickman, who of course created the original Ravenloft i6 module. They talked to them about what it was like for them to come back and revisit Ravenloft after all these years. There's a travel piece that introduces you to the land of Barovia, which is written by, some dude named Ed Greenwood. We don't really know who he is, but he's a pretty good writer in this article, though. No, I kid, of course. The great Ed Greenwood wrote a pretty cool travel piece to where if you're not really familiar with Barovia, read this and you will feel like you have been there many times. He has such a great writing style. He really does.
Looks like Barovia is a pretty sizable village.
It is, very much so.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Because on the sample map here it says Village of Barovia is pretty large village as it is. And this says Area E.
Yes, it is a big city, and of course, I think the star of this Dragon Plus episode is they give you the introductory adventure to the Curse of Strahd that is called the Death House. This is going to be played in game stores, where they're going to actually, launch the Curse of Strahd in game stores. You get this 12-page PDF mini adventure free in this month's issue of Dragon Plus. So if you want to check out the intro adventure to Curse of Strahd, you can do that in Dragon Plus, and you can do that on the PC, Android, or iOS.
And it looks like they're showing Braille dice here.
Yeah, that is a article about Dungeons & Dragons and disabilities and how people with disabilities are learning to play D&D and how there's a lot of places that are using D&D to help people with like learning disabilities or reading disabilities.
Yeah.
It's a pretty neat little thing, and I don't know if that's an actual like dice that they make or if that's just like an artist rendition, but that is a freaking cool D20.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we did because I remember one time I think I was DMing the session where we had a blind person in there. Yeah, obviously, yes, you can't see the dice, which is the disadvantage because that was a regular D20 he was rolling.
But yeah, I haven't actually looked, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure they probably have Braille dice. You would think? I would think they would.
There you go, that's a possibility. Now let's then head on to the tabletop. And it looks like an ogre is stepping onto our tabletop.
A big ogre, if you've
A
seen
big ogre.
if you've seen the game box, which I did put a picture in the article. Yeah, Steve Jackson Games.
Looks like a Mark V game box. It looks like.
Yeah, it is. It is. This my friend actually bought into this Kickstarter, and he has this edition, and he brought it over here for game night one time, and we only used one of my big tables, but we probably could have put it on 2 6-foot tables and still not had enough room for this game. This game is crazy huge. It's if you're not familiar with Ogre, it is a tank battle game is what it is. Yeah. And they are coming out with a new edition, and they announced it really weird. They announced it in Steve Jackson's Games way. They said that it is a soft announce. They just said, sometimes this year we're going to release a new Ogre set in the Ogre Design Edition scale, i.e. freaking huge. This Ogre 6th edition is going to include the Ogre map, and that's exactly the same one as in the Ogre Design Edition, and the Ogre rules, and a generous helping of more counters to play them. That is all the information that they listed. They did say this is not going to be the same edition as the Kickstarter edition. They will be changes. So
now, yeah, my copy of Ogre is slightly smaller than this, as in you remember the original version of Ogre?
Vaguely.
Yes.
To be honest, I never played it, but I do remember seeing the box, yeah, and it's like tiny.
Oh! If you're saying box, you don't remember the original version.
Oh, okay.
The original version came in is more of a plastic envelope, is a better description of what it fit into.
Really?
Yes, it was easily fit into a pocket, and yeah, it was pretty much it, and included a map that would fit, I think when unfolded, maybe was somewhere around 8.5 by 11 or somewhere around that area. And in fact, they reprinted that edition with the original price with some of the extra funds they got from the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay. Well, it might be included in this gigantic edition.
So that shows you how different the scaling of it. This big, huge deluxe edition compared to the original, really tiny, small version that was done by Metagame way back in the 70s.
And Mock Taskmaster in the chat is saying they do have a pocket-sized edition of Ogre now too, though.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I was talking about.
Yeah,
and then also
I missed this in the chat because my chat messed up. I had to go back in. When we were talking about when Origins was, Mock did say Origins was in June. So the secret project will not happen at Origins because that's in June. So we'll have to see what it is.
You said will not happen because it's in June?
Right, because the secret project was June of 2016. So it could happen at Origins. You're right.
Right.
So look for more Ogre coming from Steve Jackson's Games. Sometimes we'll post about it when we actually know more. Like I said, they really didn't say much because this is a soft announcement.
A soft announcement.
Steve Jackson's Games words, not mine. I've never heard anybody do a soft announcement before, but if anybody can do it, it's Steve Jackson.
Well, all right. I see that you list various different types of dice that are blind friendly. That's interesting. All right. So, Saba Jade, is there anything you would like to say? If you're here.
I'm here.
I wondered if she was still here. I think we chased her off with all of our talk of Ravenloft and ogres.
You did. Well, anything I want to say?
Anything.
You mean it's wide open?
It's wide
all
open.
Right.
You can talk about whatever you want. This is your section.
Are you sure?
You're not Lessa, so I'm sure.
All right.
I would
What
be
the heck is
scared.
wrong with people in the United States? Tell me that.
Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
No.
Watch that movie, and that will explain everything.
Okay.
I'm serious when I say that. I'm dead serious. Watch the movie Idiocracy, and you will understand everything.
That the average person in the United States is an idiot? Is that what it's going to tell me?
Pretty much, yes. Just
Smith will be
watch it.
happy to know that.
Watch it. It's an awesome, amazing movie, and it's scary at how true that movie is.
All right. Number 2, if you guys listen to TED Talks, I don't know if you do, it's on NPR, but they had a really interesting one about money and primates. Listen to that. It was on this past weekend.
Okay, why would a primate need money?
Well, they wanted to see whether they were using capuchin monkeys, whether they would get the same kind of behaviors after a while that human primates have when currency is involved. So, for example, they would give these things that represented money to them, or currency, and they would give 1 grape for 1 piece of currency. And then somebody else would give 2 grapes for 1 piece of currency, and 3 in 1. And the monkeys eventually went after the ones that would trade with the ones that gave more grapes per 1 piece of currency, because they knew they were getting more for their money, basically. And they did a whole bunch of different kinds of parameters on this, so it was very interesting. So TED Talk this past weekend, really interesting. But into DDO news, the Damsels are going to do a special day for our next Twitch stream, and it's going to be right after Quarterman gets done his 12-hour Twitch stream day on Friday. We're going to give him a little rest in between, but we're going to start between 7:30 and 8, and we're going to do Druids Deep and maybe Murder by Night with Quarterman as our guest. And then Saturday, about the same time, we're going to talk about what we did on Friday. And then a week and a half later on Tuesday is when we're going to go back to our regular day. We were hoping to get it for the beginning of the event that's coming up, but I guess that's 3 days later.
And that is going to be on Lessa's Twitch, I'm assuming?
The Twitch on Friday is going to be twitch.tv DDO stream, and Saturday the podcast is going to be on Lessa's Twitch, which is Lessa 101. And I'm not sure how many people follow us that follow you guys, but we just finished doing all the challenges. We did House C for 2 weeks, and then we just did Evening Star challenges. And I find it really interesting that Quarterman waits until after we're done all the challenges to put a 50% challenge boost in the DDO bonus days. What is up with that, Quarterman? I could have used that stuff.
Oh, well.
That, again, is the ultimate troll, I think.
You think Quarterman's trolling us?
I think he is. He's like, watch this. I'll show them. They're running all these challenges now. Just wait. Okay, they're done? All right. Challenge weekend is in effect.
If anyone will follow such things, it would be Quarterman.
True.
Nah, he wouldn't do that. I'm sure it was just coincidence, right?
I think it was coincidence.
Kind of funny, though, really.
So we just did 3 weeks of challenges. I'll talk about it now instead of my week in DDO. 3 weeks in challenges. If you guys haven't done challenges out there, do them. You get a lot of XP. They're really fun. They're not too long.
They're really fun. Oh, sorry.
What? What don't you like about challenges, Pine Leaf?
Oh, it's just that
okay.
Whenever I've actually attempted to do one without someone dragging me by the chain, it's usually end with 0 stars and lots of deaths.
Oh.
Well, to be fair, we've never done the Evening Star one.
Well, true. We have not attempted the one with the Evening Star.
They're a lot different than the Caneth ones.
What? You mean they're actually possible?
Well, the Caneth ones are possible, too, because I've done them and actually got them.
Well, yeah.
Of course, I had Lessa with me, but, you know.
Yeah, you got Lessa with
That's besides the point. But, yeah.
You could solo them. You could do it, Pine Leaf, I'm sure.
I watched I didn't watch live, of course, because you guys are on at, like, a crazy time in the morning for me.
Today I was thinking, you guys have a crazy time for this podcast.
What, like 5 p.m. for you?
5 p.m., yes.
Yeah. Oh, my, you Pacific Standard Time people. No, I've watched your replays of these, and these Evening Star challenges look really fun, actually. I think I might want to try these.
They're a little trickier when you do it by yourself, because you have to run off and collect some things while worrying about the guys in the middle getting beat up. I don't want to give too much of it away. If you watched us, you'll see somebody stayed there to defend the guys in the middle while the other 2 ran off. But I find them all fun. Some I like better than others, but they're all fun. And that is all I have to talk about.
That's all? That's it?
Well, I'm getting ready to move, so I haven't been on the computer a lot at all. To get ready for my move, I had to move my computer from my comfy chair in the living room with the TV there so I could watch TV while I do stuff into my spare bedroom on a proper desk. So people wouldn't come into my house who are trying to buy it and say, what the heck is going on here? No. So I have to sit at a proper desk to do this, and it's not very comfortable, honestly. Comfy chair is much better with an ottoman on my feet, at my feet.
I like how you say a proper desk. I like that. How you had to quantify that with a proper desk. My computer is now on a proper desk. Why do I picture you in a top hat and a monocle now? And it's my computer's on a proper desk. See,
in my master bedroom, I have this space that is a computer area that I have a Mac in. But I would never. Well, I will eventually get. When my furniture's moved, I'll put my PC over there so I can still get online and everything. But that's not a proper desk. That's all I meant.
Okay, I understand.
But real life, it just takes up time out of fun life.
It does. Darn that real life thing.
I know. And poor Sid, my cat, every time somebody comes to see my place, we have to vacate. So she's driven around LA more than she had in the 9 years we've been here. Yep, that's it. No new news.
All right, then. Then let's head into our week from DDO. And Drac, what have you been up to?
I finished the Catacombs with my friend that I started playing again. Had my level 4 rogue at the time, reached level 5 with that rogue. We did the rest of the Catacombs, which we did the Patriarch's Crypt and the Archbishop's Daughter. Did those on hard. And then for the last quest, I thought, we didn't have too much problems on hard. So when we went to face the Archbishop Dryden for his fate on the last one, I told my friend, I'll go ahead and set it on elite. What's the worst that could happen? We actually didn't die. I was surprised. I figured we would. It did help, though, that he cast fire, because he is playing a wizard. He cast Fireball at the most opportune time ever. And I think he critted on that. So that helped a lot. And then I did get a backstab in, and I got a crit on my backstab, too. So both of those kind of lined up to help. But, yeah, I was surprised because I figured for sure we were going to die in that. But so we did the Catacombs, and now we're getting ready to do the Delaris chain. He has never done those. So I said, I'll take you into Delaris. So that will be fun.
What level are you guys?
5. I'm 5.
You might want to rethink that.
I'm 5, and I think he is, I want to say he's 6, I think. Why are you saying?
You're young to get the traps on, I think it's part 2.
Well, I figured by the time I get there, I should be a little higher and be able to get the, you think? Maybe not?
Or you have the gear, yeah.
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Because, yeah, I remember the first time I did Delaris, I did it on my rogue, my, main character rogue. And, yeah, I couldn't get those traps, and that quest suck if you can't get those traps. So I'm hoping by the time we get to part 2, we'll be all right. But we'll see. If not, I'm just going to get him killed a lot. So there you go. My Warlock is at level 9, and I decided to do Delaris on my Warlock just because, why not? And actually, no, I'm wanting to get, and why am I just drawing a blank now? What's the World Shaper? Yeah, is that the one that comes out of Delaris?
No, it's
the Voice of the Master.
Yeah.
Comes out of Delaris. Yeah, so I'm looking for that for my Warlock. So I'm starting to do that. So I did the first part, Missing Party, on the Warlock, and I did that on hard. Didn't have any problems whatsoever. The only other thing I did on Caneth then is, of course, I did I guess it wasn't on Caneth, but it was on Drac, though. I did the anniversary preview videos that I did of the loot and the dungeon. They're up. You can see them. Of course, once again, I will give the spoiler alert. I spoiled all of the things, so word to the wise. Over on Argo, I decided to play my Wolflock a little bit because I haven't played my Wolflock for a long time, and I was missing shooting fireballs out of my Wolf's mouth. So I started doing Druid's Deep. I did Outbreak, and then since I was in Evening Star anyway, I did Murder by Night. I did those on hard. Didn't have too much of a problems. On Murder by Night, I did die a couple times, but that's because of those stupid wisps. Oh my god, I hate those wisps. I don't know. I guess it's because I have hardly any MRR. I assume if you have a higher MRR, those wisps aren't as like horrible as they are, or are they just horrible anytime? I hate those wisps. I really do.
I go after them first, so I don't know.
Well, see, I was trying to, but I was dying too quick because of them. Stupid wisp. Anyway, I love that Murder by Night quest though. And then that's pretty much it for DDO. I did jump into Neverwinter. My Ranger's sitting at 41 still, and I got my Warlock up to level 30 in Neverwinter. And I did a lot of the daily quest for the Stronghold, as our guild over on Neverwinter is trying to build up our Stronghold, and that is just a horrible daily grind that you have to do.
You're talking about the MMO Neverwinter?
Yes. Not Neverwinter Nights, but the MMO Neverwinter. Yeah, I jumped back into it. I played it for a while, then I quit, and then I got drugged back in by a couple of people on Twitter. I don't know. It's okay. Like I've said before, it's fun to jump in for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe a half hour, and then jump out. I couldn't sit there and play it for like DDO. I could, literally sit and play it for a couple hours straight. Neverwinter, I could play it for about a half hour, and that's about it. It's okay. It's kind of fun for a while, and then I want to take a break from it, and then I go back to it. So I guess that's what, makes it nice that it's a free-to-play game, so I'm not paying for it. So
right.
I can do that. So it's nice. And, and this week I might not play it at all. I kind of take breaks from it, but, it's okay. I realize I'm giving it, just a rousing thumbs up. Everybody's going to run and play it now, but it's just okay. It's all right. It's definitely not DDO. I will say that right now. So. And then the only other thing I did, and DDO Central is saying the target audience for Neverwinter is an ADD 12-year-old, which I would kind of agree with that statement. I think you do have to have ADD to play that game sometimes because it's very Twitch combat orientated. So I will agree with your statement, DDO Central.
That explains a lot like why I don't like it.
Well, my biggest problem with it is we do know it's based off the edition that should not be named.
Well, yeah, there is also that little detail.
think if they would change that and update it to 5e, I might be able to take it a little more, but I don't know. But anyway.
Twitch combat, when I was playing it, I couldn't move and do combat at all.
What class were you playing?
Probably a rogue. And I know Myth played some kind of caster, and she couldn't either move and throw a spell. No, they might have changed that since we played.
They must have, because on my Warlock, I'm moving constantly. I don't hardly stand still at all. So that might have been changed. And, of course, I never rolled a rogue, so I don't know. I can't speak of the rogue. But on my Ranger, I can move and shoot, too. So.
Besides that, I thought it was too simplistic.
Yeah, it's very,
I mean, you don't really get many choices of your character as you build it.
No, it's very linear on your build path. That is true. I mean, you can build it out a little bit, but not as much as we can in DDO, which I think is one of the shining stars for DDO, is the character building is where DDO really shines. But that is pretty much my week, other than what I did with you, Pine Leaf, and you will talk about that as you always do.
Then we will begin with my Artificer. We're level 20 Artificer with Drac, where we went into doing some quests in Evening Star. We began with Murder by Night, which I think this was our first serious contact with werewolves. We might have had light contact one or two, but this was definitely our first real big werewolf story that I recall doing. And then on High Road, we ran Detour, where it was nice seeing the devs poking fun at escort quests. And then Rest Stop, where they had this bear trap, where originally I thought, okay, let's try this at hard. We went in, started doing it, and that there was this bear trap whose DC was just so high I couldn't do it. So I thought, oh, okay, well, it looks like that's going to be a real problem. So I decided, okay, we'll reset it and do it at normal so I have a chance to do it. And I still couldn't do it. I had my skill with traps. This is an Artificer. Extremely high on my dexterity and intelligence. I think it's intelligence. I think I have 20 for both of those there. Plus, I have maxed out ranks to it. You would think that I would have some hope of attempting on this bear trap, and it was, I'm sorry, you're automatically failured. You can't even get this if you rolled a 20.
And I told you when we were playing, I don't understand that because I ran this quest on my rogue and I didn't have any problems with that bear trap. So I don't understand what was going on.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a ridiculously high DCI. So in the end, though, we completed the quest, and we finished that. And during the course of it, Drac got a named bow.
Well, I did technically thanks to you because you actually pulled it out of the chest, but you passed it kindly to me. So
yeah, that's why he quests with me because
he has better RNG luck. So I'm like, oh look, a bow. You don't need that. You use crossbows.
right.
So yeah, it was I think it's the Road Watch bow. I think is what it's called. It's a really nice bow. It was a lot better than the bow I was using. So I'm happy with it.
Well, then on my Ranger, I didn't do too much on my Ranger. I ran the Sacred Helm, and I also ran Missing in Action at Hard. And that's all I did this week. So, Savo, anything left you were doing, or did you cover it all before?
I did cover it all, but I had a question for you. Is this Ranger the one that you're going to go all the way up to 30?
I did not in any way imply that I was going all the way up to 30. I
know you
20.
have some character. Okay.
I said 20.
Well, I was just thinking you could use that pinion out of the anniversary event.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is a good suggestion for you, Piney. That's the reward you should pick on your Ranger.
All right, I shall consider that when it is time, and if I remember.
I'll remind you, because I'm going to take that too on my Ranger. So.
Yes, okay then. And then if you would like to help support DDO players, you could go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. And there you'll find rewards, including a mention on DDO Players News, or even be a guest host with us. And we did not have any iTunes reviews this week, and there are no featured comments, though I would like to point out that there was someone who asked the question, do I know how to cast spells?
I almost put that as the featured comment.
Why did somebody ask you that?
Well, I was doing the demonstration of the gnomes on
I was going to tell you to be careful what you said there.
Gnomes are coming. They're coming for you.
Yes, and I was demonstrating it last weekend with the collaborator. I was doing that quest on there. And first off, there are a couple of things on there. The first one is that I'm so used to wizards getting a free set of ingredients that I was a bit surprised. It wasn't until I tried to summon a dog that I suddenly realized that I had no spell ingredients on me. So the fact that I got all the way to the collaborator without realizing I had no spell ingredients, I'm sure made him wonder, well, what was I casting with? And the second matter is that I probably didn't use too many spells during the course of that dungeon because I was probably constantly using the Eternal Wand that you get out of the Korthos quest or something like that. Now, I did have a build where I had a trait that's in the racial tree that enhances the damage that you do with wands. So therefore, I was doing more damage with the wands than you would normally do in any case. So therefore, I was mainly using wands in there. So I have a feeling that I might not have cast any spells during that video. It's very possible, and I have been known to go through dungeons without casting spells. And as Drac will know with my Artificer.
Yeah, I do tend to. It's like, you can cast spells. Just saying.
Yes.
Just a little reminder, you are a spellcaster.
Yes. It was a while before I started doing things like actually casting my turret and casting my blade barriers and stuff like that, which I've been doing lately. But
you have been getting a lot better on your arty about that. I will give you that.
Right, but I obviously wasn't doing it with the wizard that I was doing for the demonstration there. Now, I also tend to be in a dungeon where I have many mobs coming around me and I'm alone. I tend to get a little panicky, and when I get panicky, I forget about spellcasting and rely on weapons.
So we'll just start calling you Bonnie Bew then.
Is that what Bonnie does?
Why, Bonnie does that?
You don't remember when we were running the Shroud flagging
Oh,
stuff?
yes.
She had reincarnated into a sorcerer.
Right, into a sorcerer, yes.
And she kept forgetting that build she was reincarnated into was a sorcerer. So she kept running up to things and hitting it with her sword. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a caster. I forgot." So yes.
Yeah, there was that.
Yeah, I think she maybe cast that whole time we were running the Shroud flagging stuff. She maybe cast 10 spells total. Maybe she would just always run up and just whack stuff in the head with a sword. It's oh yeah, spell cast. I forgot spell sorcerer.
Well, in my case, I was using a weapon more appropriate for a wizard than for
true.
than for a different class.
But have you
quite Bonnie level?
You haven't really ever played a full-on spellcaster, though, have you? I don't remember you ever rolling up like a wizard or a. Well, I mean, other than I know you did in your little primitive, little quick, 1 to 5 runs you were doing, but.
And when I was running with you, I started out by playing a wizard.
Oh yeah, that's right. I blocked that out.
Yeah, you blocked that out because I had
it out.
Yeah. Because,
was
yeah.
there some unfortunate event that you blocked things out?
Yeah, there was an unfortunate event because he screwed up my whole build of my character because when we first started playing, he was on his wizard. So I said, okay, I'm going to create a ranger. And I said, then what I'll do is I'll splash in some rogue so I can take care of, traps and locks and all that. Mm-hmm. Well, then we played for about, 2 or 3 weeks. And then the next time we played, he shows up on this artificer. And he starts doing all these traps. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Rogue levels. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not doing the wizard anymore. I'm doing this artificer now. And I'm like, great. So here I am with rogue levels for no reason at all. That's awesome.
There's never no reason for rogue levels.
Well, this is true. I do enjoy my reflex saves abilities that I have, but yeah. So yeah, that's why I blocked the whole thing on him playing a wizard out. So
yeah, I wonder if he would be happier with a wizard at 20 than his artificer at 20. Because Myth loves her with her warlock and sorcerers.
Mm-hmm.
She rarely plays something besides a sorcerer.
That's a good question. See, now I'm getting this idea that we need to create some characters, and every other week, instead of playing the characters that we play Pineleaf is forced to play a wizard, and I'm forced to play something that I don't know what I would.
I don't know. We've done that forced to play thing, and it's not always fun. It's not.
Really?
Yes. And you need to have some feeling for your character that you only get if you play them a really long time. Ask Pineleaf about his permadeath characters going up to 5. He didn't really invest much in them.
Right. That is true. That is true.
If you would like to email us, you can email us at podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAllied, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. And you could also follow our guest, Saba Jade @Saba Jade. The Players Alliance has 5 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. Every other Saturday after Locho Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Friday of each month, that includes this coming Friday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Academy After School. You join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. That is all for tonight. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.